Hey, what's up guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a zombie world deck profile. So this week, we're going to be doing an entire week of zombie deck profiles, as you probably have seen in the community tab. I'm really excited for this one because we're actually doing this for the 15,000 milestone that we hit on the channel. I'm really excited for this one. I've been planning this one for about a month or two since we got close to 15,000 to do a week of zombie deck profiles because everybody loves zombies, and it's actually my favorite sub-archetype of all time, like attribute or whatever it is, the type of monsters they are of all time. I love zombies. There's so much generic support for them, and so I've made 7 zombie decks for the entire week for you guys to enjoy. So without further ado, guys, let's get straight in this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you can become part of the notification squad, and let's get straight on this. But before we do, I really quickly want to mention to you guys that we do have a Patreon and a Ko-Fi down in the description. If you guys would like to donate to the channel, any donations are very much appreciated so we can continue to make awesome deck profiles like this. So let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're just going to be playing 2 copies of Doom King Ballardrot. So Ballardrot is a really good boss monster that we're playing in a lot of the zombie decks that we're actually going to be doing profiles of. But his effect basically is during the standby phase, if a face-up card is in your spell and trap card zone, or your field spell zone, which is always going to be your zombie world that's in your spell and trap card zone, you can special summon in from your graveyard and then in defense position, and you can only use the effect of Doom King Ballardrot once per turn. And then once per chain, when a zombie monster's effect is activated, which hopefully is going to be your opponent's zombie's monster because of the effect of Zombie World turning everything into zombies, it has the ability that you can apply one of the effects. Either negate the activation or banish one monster from the field or the graveyard. And it doesn't target, which is really, really cool. Then we play 2 copies of Necro World Banshee. Necro World Banshee is a really good card that helps us get to Zombie World a little bit faster because Zombie World is in your field spell zone. It cannot be destroyed by battle, or cannot be destroyed by card effects, and also neither player can target it with card effects. It also has the ability that you can banish from the graveyard to activate a Zombie World directly from your hand or deck, which is really cool to be able to grab Zombie World out of the deck. Then we play only 2 copies of Glow Up Bloom. Glow Up Bloom is a good card to send to graveyard off of like Unizombie because if it's sent to the graveyard, you can banish it from your grave and then add a level 5 or higher zombie monster from your deck to your hand, which is usually going to be Ballardrot, always going to be Ballardrot, or Vampire Fraulein. But it also has the ability that if Zombie World's on the field, you can just special summon the zombie from your deck instead of adding it to your hand, which is really good to just instantly put a 2800 Ballardrot on the field. Just 2 copies of Mizuki you can banish from your graveyard to revive any zombie that's in your grave. 2 copies of Gozuki. Gozuki is an unsung hero in zombie decks because during your main phase, you can send a zombie from your deck to your graveyard, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish a zombie from your graveyard except Gozuki and then special summon a zombie from your hand, which is really good to just like get you something else on the field by banishing a zombie that you might not even need in the graveyard, like a Shiranui Solitaire, which speaking of Shiranui Solitaire, we play 3 copies of Shiranui Solitaire. You tribute it to special summon a tuner zombie monster from your deck with 0 defense, which we play a couple of those in the deck. We actually play, I think Glow Up Bloom has 0, yeah, Glow Up Bloom is 0/0. So you can special summon Glow Up Bloom, you can special summon Unizombie, which is going to be our main target, which is the main engine that makes zombies even work well. But basically what Unizombie does is you get to target a face-up monster on the field and discard a card, and if you do, you get to increase the target's level by 1. And then you can target one monster on the field, and you cannot attack for the rest of the turn except with zombies, which is not a big deal because we're only going to be attacking with zombies anyways. And then also you can send a zombie monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, increase the level of that target's level by 1 by targeting it. So basically you can send one from your hand to the graveyard to increase a monster on the field's level by 1, or discard a zombie from your hand to the graveyard, or send one from deck to graveyard to increase by 2 levels any zombie. Usually you're going to increase Unizombie to 4 because it's better as a level 4 tuner monster instead of being a level 3, which is kind of awkward. The only thing that we go into with a level 3 tuner monster and a level 4 monster is usually going to be a copy of Black Rose Dragon or the Red Eyes Zombie Dragon in the main deck. So that's going to be about it that you're going to go for. Then we play a single copy of Shiranui Spectral Sword. If this card's in your graveyard, except for the turn it was sent there, you can target a non-zombie tuner monster and banish it. And then if you do, you get to special summon a zombie synchro monster from your extra deck using that monster and this monster as materials, basically. So you could banish like a Shiranui, Solitaire and the Spectral Sword, and then summon a level 6 synchro monster from the extra deck. or you could send something else that you might want to send to the graveyard to make this work a little bit better. Usually I use like Vampire Frolin to go into the Red Eyes Zombie Dragon a little bit easier. Then we play a single copy of Zombie Master. I like Zombie Master at 1 because you just have to send a monster from your hand to the grave to target a level 4 lower zombie in your graveyard, and then just special summon it back, like for freezies. So it's just a really good, in my opinion, one of. So I feel like it's kind of not good to not play this at 1, in my opinion. So then I play 1 copy of Shiranui Spiritual Master or Spirit Master. This card's a really good card. When it's normal summon, you can special summon a Shiranui monster from your hand or graveyard, which we do play 4 other ones in the main deck, so it's really easy to do that. And it also has the ability that when if this card is banished, you can target a face-up card your opponent controls and destroy it, which is also really good with Spectral Sword, because you just banish it and then immediately go for a pop. Or with Gozuki, banish it off of Gozuki, and then immediately special summon something from the hand and pop something on your opponent's side of the field. For the last zombie, well, I can't say last zombie, because we do play 3 more zombies. 1 copy of Frolin. When a battle is declared, you get special summon Frolin, and then you can pay life points, increment to 1,000 or 100 up to 2,000, and then increase the zombie's attack points by that much, which is really good. And increase the attack and defense of that zombie by that much, which is really, really, really good. I really love that ability. It's just so good. Like, it's just so good to be able to do that, to be able to increase them and get them really big. And then for the last 3 monsters, we play 3 copies of Ash Blossom, which is a zombie as well. But Ash Blossom is basically here because what you want to do with Ash Blossom is just hand trap your opponent. I mean, it just helps us with a little bit of more stun in the deck, because the deck is a swarm stun deck, essentially, and so Ash Blossom is really pivotal to being able to stun your opponent. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Call by the Grave, because it is zombies. You need some, graveyard talk in this deck. So we play 3 copies of Call by the Grave. It's pretty much just to hit hand traps, so we don't have to deal with those while we're playing our zombies. 3 copies of Super Polymerization. This card is absolutely nuts with Dragon Necro Nethersoul Dragon. This card is absolutely nuts. Say that 3 times fast. Dragon Necro Nethersoul Dragon. But basically you can use 2 of your opponent's zombie monsters, and while Zombie World is on the field, it makes all monsters on the field become zombies, and all cards in the graveyard become zombies. So you just activate this and send 2 cards your opponent controls to the grave, and just immediately summon this. So this deck doesn't even change that much in Master Rule 5, it really doesn't change that much at all. Zombie Necronize. Zombie Necronize is a really good one of. It's kind of like Mind Control. If you control level 5 or higher zombie, you can target a card your opponent controls that's in a monster, and then take control of it until the end phase of the turn. And then during your main phase, if this card is in the graveyard, you can shuffle one of your banished zombie monsters into the deck, and then if you do, set this card but banish it when it leaves the field. So you get basically 2 mind controls off of this. It's a good one of, in my opinion. The deck is a 41 card deck, so you don't have to play this card, but I really like it as a one of in here, so I highly recommend that you guys give it a shot as a one of. Then we play for our other one-ofs, we play a single copy of Foolish Burial because, Unizombie's good, but we need zombies in the graveyard, so sometimes we use Foolish Burial to do that. 1 copy of Monster Reborn because you always have room for more zombies on the field. 1 copy of Dragon's Mirror. This card's really good to bring out your Dragon Necros Nethersoul. It's just so easy to bring it out with this card. And then 3 copies of Zombie World, which Zombie World is like the MVP of the entire deck. It makes the whole deck go around, and that's why it is a Zombie World deck, is because it's all focused around Zombie Toolbox with Zombie World. Basically what this card does is all monsters on the field and in the graveyard become zombies, and then neither player contributes summon monsters except for zombie monsters. So if your opponent's playing like Monarchs, a lot of people during Monarch format would side this in, and then your opponent would go, oh crap, well I lose, scoop, because they can't get around this because you can't tribute summon except for zombies, which is something that people don't really realize about this card sometimes. So that's it for the spells. We do actually play 5 traps in the deck, and that is 3 copies of Rivalry of Warlords. I do main deck these, and then 2 copies of Shiranui style Swallow Slash. This is like Icarus Attack. You tribute a zombie, and then you target 2 cards on the field and destroy them, then banish a Shiranui monster from your deck. You can do the banishing thing, and if you banish a Spirit Master, you get 3 pops instead of 2. This card's really good to be able to pop multiple cards, and I will give you guys a hint. Shiranuis will be one of the decks that I will be doing this week. Rivalry of Warlords is really good because basically it combos really well with Zombie World because each player can only control one type of monster and then send all of their face-ups to the grave. This makes everything zombies on the field, so your opponent can't summon anything with Rivalry of Warlords and Zombie World on the field. The only thing that you have to keep in mind is it kind of locks you into your main deck, which is not that big of a deal because we do play a couple of zombie cards in the extra deck. We play like a bunch of zombie cards in the extra deck, so it's not super big a deal, but it's something to keep in mind that you can't summon stuff like Dragon Neck or Nether Soul Dragon because it's a dragon monster, which sucks. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Dragon Neck or Nether Soul Dragon. It is our big Super Poly target. You're usually just going to make this with Super Poly, but sometimes you will make Starving Venom or Mud Dragon. It's really dependent. But basically what this does is it must be fusion summon, and monsters cannot be destroyed by battle with this card, so it can't destroy anything by battle at all. But when it attacks an opponent's monster, you can special summon a token to your side of the field that has the same attack level or attack and level as the monster that it attacked. And then it also, when it attacks, you get to reduce that opponent's monster to 0, which is really, really cool. I really like that, but you can only control 1 copy of this. If this card battles a monster, that monster has its original attack and level, and the attack of the monster becomes 0. It was just really cool. Like, I really love this card. Like, it's one of my favorite cards. And then we play Starving Venom Fusion Dragon is another Super Poly target. Basically, you just make this occasionally when you don't have Zombie World. It's another option. Same thing with Mud Dragon. These are other options if you don't have a single copy of, Zombie World on the field, which sometimes happens, but it's very rare. 1 copy of Shiranui Shogun Saiga. Shogun Saiga is really good because if it's special summon, you can banish a zombie monster from your graveyard, and it gains attack equal to the banished monster's original attack until the end phase. And if this card on the field is destroyed by battle or by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target a banished zombie monster with 0 defense and return to the graveyard, which can be really good because some of your zombies trigger that way. 1 copy of Cyframe Lord Omega. It goes in every single zombie deck. Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend is a tech card that I'm playing in here. I did just get the Ghost Rare version of this, so I wanted to play it as a one-of in the deck because it just does so much stuff where it just blows for board, and it's really easy to go for level 8 Synchro monsters in here. You can drop it if you want to go for more zombie Synchros, like maybe playing Sun Saiga or something like that, going for something else that you might want to play, but I like Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. Borreload Savage is something I make all the time in this deck with a Link monster in the grave. We only play 3 Link monsters in the whole deck, but it's really easy to put one of them in the graveyard. 1 copy of Beals. Beals is really good in here. Beals is the one that I would definitely not recommend dropping ever. 1 copy of Red Eyes Zombie Necro Dragon. This card is really good and gets really big. It gains 100 attack and defense for each zombie monster on the field and in the graveyard, and then in the graveyards, plural, so it makes everything a zombie monster in the graveyard with Zombie World, so this card gets really big really fast. And then when another zombie monster is destroyed by battle, you can special summon a zombie monster from either player's graveyard to your field, so it just keeps bringing your zombies back. Like, I make this all the time. Like, this is the MVP in the deck. Like, people underestimate that card so much. A single copy of Black Rose. Black Rose is something that we need to play as a one-of in here because you want to be able to blow for board. Shiranui Samurai Saga, I play as a one-of because it helps us go into it with the copy of Spiritual Sword. You can go into this really easily, and it's a 2,500 beat stick, so you might as well. And plus with Master Rule 5 right around the corner, it's really easy to summon this into any zone, and it's a free 2,500 beat stick. So, I mean, why not play it as a one-of? And then for our Link monsters, we play a Boral Sword to OTK, Vampire Sucker, because sometimes you need the suck, and Avenged Savior. Avenged Savior is really good because it just sends during damage calculation, if it battles an opponent's monster, you can send a zombie monster in your deck to the graveyard, so it just really gives you that additional send graveyard effect. And then it also has the ability that it gains attack equal to the monster's level that was sent to the graveyard times 200. So if you send to level 4, it goes up by 800 all the way up to 24. If you send to level 8, it goes up by 1600 going up to 32. So this is a pretty big, Link monster. It's really a good card. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's a really fun deck, and thank you so much for 15,000 subscribers. I cannot thank you guys enough. I cannot wait until we get to our next milestone, but for the moment, it's nice to be able to bask in the sun and be like, hey, yeah, we hit 15,000. That was great. So anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.